Who do we have up next? Woo!
I'm coming back up. I'll be up in a second. Keep talking. I'll be up in a second. Hey guys, just a heads up for something happened on my camera. So if you have people logging in for training, you're gonna need to send them this new link that I'm about to post on for the training.
Well, the ideas we already have, and then ask them if what else they might want to do for fun day.
Okay, so for fun day, I said dodgeball.
We're playing basketball.
All right, five ideas. The video's rolling, so get that sent out to your new people. Basketball.
Slip and slide.
This could all fall under game day. That's done. Next.
Trivia.
That's all game day. What?
What I glue.
That's all under game day. That's all under game day. All these are games that y'all are naming. I got a hike to the mountains. That's not a game. Going to Table Rock. Go where? Go to the zoo.
Apparently it worked pretty well.
Go party. Go party.
All right, that's fine. We're done.
We're done?
That's fine. We're done.
All right, that's it. We're done. All right, good ideas.
Bring out Zack Greene!
It's sitting on the back. I already have a full glass. Yeah, right there. Perfect. Thank you. So, all right. How many of you guys in here have ever felt like you were a little bit stuck in your business? If you're brand new, maybe even too. All right. How many of you guys would love it if you could move on in the business sooner than later? Absolutely, right? Listen, over the past 7 years of being in business, I can count a lot of times that I felt like I was stuck. Let me just be completely honest with you, felt like I was stuck more than I felt like I was moving forward. All right? But here's what happens. When you hit a wall or you hit a slump in the business, it's not time to slow down. If I look over the 7 years that I've been in business, every time that I've hit a slump or I feel like things are not working as good as they were before, I start slowing down a little bit. Right? It's kind of like if you're driving along the road and you're making really, really good timing and you're in the mountains and you're just weaving in and out, and then you get up to the cloud cover and it's just completely fogged out. What do? Reggie speeds up and goes off the side of the mountain. Most of us slow down, right? Because it's just a little bit foggy, you're not exactly sure which way the road is going to turn, and so we slow down a little bit, all right? Well, in the business, when things get a little bit foggy, and you're not really sure, and you don't have clarity, number one, you need to communicate with your upline, all right? That is huge. Every single time I look back, there's times when I'm growing fast, and then times when I'm not growing fast, and I seem like I'm a little bit stuck. Usually communication is the first thing to slip, all right? Zack and I actually went and grabbed dinner tonight before the meeting, so I'm not going to be hungry after the meeting. I ate a hamburger that's bigger than my face. If you've never been to Copper River, it's stupid. I'm looking at this burger, and it's like the Copper River burger, and it's $9. So I'm like, it's going to be an average size burger. It was like a $14 burger. I mean, that sucker was massive, and fries and all that stuff. But we just had a real conversation, and in chatting, he told me a few things, and I was like, I need to send Zack this audio, this audio, this audio, and this audio, and it's going to help him with what he's going through. Does that make sense? Yeah. But if we never would have had that conversation, I wouldn't know, in my library of knowledge of the past 7 years, what to tell him to help him, right? And all the things that I've shared with Lewis and everything that you guys have probably shared with your upline is not always easy to talk about, right? Heather and Andrea had a few conversations a couple weeks ago. They weren't the easiest conversations to have, but did they move you forward?
Absolutely.
Are you glad you had them?
Absolutely.
See? But a lot of times you guys are gonna, you think, oh man, if I have this conversation, like, let me tell you this, your upline or your sponsor is not going to judge you.
Right.
It does not matter what you are going through or what you're dealing with in business or in life or whatever it is. We are not going to judge you. Because trust me, we've been through probably the same thing or worse, or maybe not, but we know somebody that's been through the same thing or worse and has gotten through it. And we can point you to their story, and then that'll help give you encouragement that it's gonna be okay. Does that make sense? So if you're in the business and you feel like you're a little bit stuck, or maybe you don't feel stuck, maybe you feel like things are going good. I was reading a book the other day, and they said, when things are clicking and things are going good, hit the gas even harder. So you may be going up the mountain right now and things are a little bit foggy and you're kind of working through a few things. When you hit the sweet spot and you feel like you're in that sweet spot, you better slam on that gas and make as much time possible as you can when you're on the straightaway. Jeremy, what do you do when you get on the straightaway or backstretch in a NASCAR race? You hammer down, right? I mean, you absolutely hammer down, and I mean, that car is screaming. How many RPMs are you running at down the backstretch?
8,000.
8,000. I mean, that thing is maxed out. They actually have to put a stopper on them because the engines would literally just explode apart if they didn't. And they're going 220 miles an hour down that backstretch. Why? Because when they come into the turn, they're going to have to slow down or they're going to completely wipe out. All right? So here's a few things that'll maybe help you navigate through that mountain or through those turns to help you get to where you don't feel stuck and where you're actually in the sweet spot. Has anybody ever felt like they've been in the sweet spot with their business? Heather's kind of right there right now. Travis, you're starting to feel it, right? It's like you're about to, you still hit it just a little bit towards the tip of the bat, but you're about to get that sweet spot and you're going to be like, man, I found it. And you're just going to be able to start smacking home runs, knocking them out of the park because your confidence goes up. People that get in a slump in baseball, they went through stretches where they were amazing. Usually something happens to where their confidence. Tiger Woods' dad died. Tiger Woods' dad was his rock. His dad is what kind of gave him his confidence and was his coach through the golf game, right? As soon as his dad passed away, his golf game just plummeted. And he hasn't been the same since. Stephen Curry right now. Is he on a sweet spot? Absolutely. The dude freaking can't miss a shot. It's unbelievable. I was watching the other day. He runs up to the 3 line, and as he's running, he's 3 feet away, and he just throws a shot, and it just swishes every single time. It's unbelievable, right? It's so cool to watch. And it's cool to watch somebody in business in that. Like, I'm really excited for Heather and Travis and other people in the room who are just kind of in that sweet spot right now. It feels good, just hit the gas and get as much done as you can in that time, because more than likely there's going to be another wall that's going to kind of hit you, right? But if you're in that sweet spot and you add 50 IBOs to your team and that wall hits you, well, it's not that bad of a wall, right? Because you're going through the wall with an extra 80 grand in your pocket, okay? So here's a few things that'll kind of help you. Make sure you communicate. I'm not going to spell the word. Communicate. I think it's C-O-M-M-U something and something. My wife is a speller. She wants a spelling bee, okay? So make sure you communicate. Make sure you communicate. So Kevin, is it Kevin? Right. You're working with Lewis some, right? Yeah. So if you ever, the more you communicate with Lewis, the faster your business is going to grow. Exactly. Do you feel that?
Every time.
Absolutely. Every time you talk to him, it's just like another cobweb gets cleared out of your mind, right? The road gets a little bit clearer. It's like the clouds are starting to break through a little bit. And then the more you communicate, those clouds will lift and you'll see the straightaway and it'll be like a bright sunny day in the desert and there's 2 lanes and it's as far as you can see. And you can just hammer down and get this thing going, right? Here's another thing to help you get unstuck. Go out and shake a hand or build your list. However you want to do that. If you feel like you're stuck, I'm not really growing, people aren't really getting started, here's what you need to do, is you need to work on your list. Because if you feel stuck and you go to Starbucks tomorrow, and you say hi to a new person, and that guy says yes, and he says yes to come to the meeting, and he says yes to getting sponsored, he could add 25 people to his team in the next 2 months. Do you think you'd feel stuck if you sponsored a guy that added 25 people in 2 months? Nope. Would you feel stuck if you'd sponsored 3 new legs, or you sponsored 3 new legs in the next month? Absolutely not, right? And what is going to lead to that? A list. You can go, if you feel like, man, I'm in a slump of meeting people, go on Facebook, get in your yearbook, get creative, right? Because then you can start calling those people, and when you get a yes, you go from that high of I'm excited, I got a yes, to the next one, right? It's a whole lot easier to hit a home run when you just hit a home run because you know what it feels like. Does that make sense? All right, cool. So work on your list, okay? And here's another thing, is make the phone call. Has anybody ever been stuck at making phone calls? I'm gonna talk about Andrea for a minute. She was stuck on making phone calls like a couple weeks ago. Everybody's like, oh, Andrea, right? Right? The queen of Amway. The miss, I'll meet anybody, anywhere, anytime, no matter who they are. She went through a slump, right?
I did.
How did you get out of it?
The only way to overcome fear is action. I literally sat there and talked to myself for 10 minutes. Put on an audio, listen to my favorite audio, just talk to myself for 10 minutes. My confessions, everything. It was just about taking the phone call.
And what did you do? You said, I'm gonna sit in this car until I make 10 phone calls.
Yep, Zack called me for dinner and I said, I can't come yet.
Yeah, I said,
And
you
was
wanna go to
like,
dinner?
30 minutes late.
La Paria.
That's why I love like
If you guys don't know how much she's in love with La Paria, she cheats on me like 4 times a week. Alright? That is the spot. We literally go there every Sunday and every other day that ends in Y. It's unbelievable. And the place is amazing. And I called her and said, do you want to go to dinner at La Paria? And she's like, I can't come right now, I'm making phone calls. And she sat in her car and made phone calls until she made 10. Are you out of your slump?
Absolutely.
Back on a roll?
Absolutely.
Why? Because she just took some action. So if you're brand new in here, what's your name?
Everett.
Everett. If you're brand new, right?
Yeah.
If you, even if this is good stuff for me, after being in for 7 years, and it's good stuff for you, right? This is what helps people move on in the business, all right? If you've been in for 6 years, Beth and Mario, clear the mechanism. This is brand new information, and if you're like, man, I'm on a roll, you can help some of your downline with this that maybe feel stuck, okay? So, phone. And let's see here, audios is another thing that can help you get unstuck. You know, you hear an audio. How many of you have the app or you have the DYS or either the media app? Raise your hand. All right, perfect. How many of you have an audio that you could listen to tomorrow or re-listen to tomorrow? Awesome. Do that, and if you don't have one, talk to the person that invited you out and say, hey, I need that DYS app, or I need an audio. I sent Zach 4 audios. Audios are money. They're there for a reason. If I'm ever feeling down or feeling like, oh man, I'm kind of stuck, pop in an audio, right? Pop in Call Me Extreme by Gary Newell. If that does not fire you up, I do not know what will, okay? Talks about freedom. You know what I mean? And here's another thing too. This will help you get unstuck as well. This is huge. This is really, really, really huge. I think I spelled that right.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Awesome. We are the champions. Imagine your future. Everett, what do you want your life to look like? What kind of car do you want to drive?
I8.
What color do you want it to be?
Black.
Can you imagine the smell of the brand new leather when you get inside it?
Yeah.
Can you imagine what it's going to feel like when your hands are on the wheel and you punch the gas, how it's just going to kind of push you back in your seat a little bit? Can you imagine maybe like, does it have like a sunroof or a T-top or could you get a convertible or?
Yeah.
So just throwing the top back on a day like today.
I'm already there.
Just throwing the top back on a day like today, and you start cruising down 385, and you're headed towards Charleston, you get about exit 220, and you start smelling that beach water. It starts to warm up a little bit, you start feeling the breeze, and the sun's on your face. You whip up to a spot, and you grab a burger, and just kind of hang out, and everybody's like turning their head, like, holy cow, look at that guy. Just a picture people as you're driving down the road, like turning their head,
Yeah. See?
right? And then you go down there and you hang out. Let's say maybe you hop on the little 45, 50-foot boat that you have parked down there at the city marina, just hanging out a little bit. Then you take off, you go out through the harbor, you go up Shem Creek, you hop off the dock, Red's Ice House, get a little bit of seafood, grab another burger, and then you just take off and you just cruise the coastline and watch the sunset. Imagine that. And guess what? You talking to one more person is going to get you a little bit closer to that. How unstuck are you now? You're like, ooh, I just got a fire lit under my butt, right? Imagine your future. Imagine your bank account. Sit down and think about, right now, imagine all of your debts being 0. And then imagine your bank account being a plus or in the black, 50 grand. Or cut that in half, 25 grand. Well, let's cut that in half, 12 grand. Let's cut that in half, 6 grand. 100% debt free, and you got $6,000 in your bank account. Guess what? Talking to one more person, whether they say yes or no, by the way, is gonna get you one step closer to that. Imagination is actually, now that I'm thinking about it, probably more important than any of these things that I just talked about, because that's what's gonna spur you and get you out of your seat to make the phone call, to build the list, to communicate with your upline, or to listen to an audio. Alan Leininger talks about it all the time. If you're in this meeting tonight and you don't have 3 or 4 people here, you need to come over here tonight and you need to look at these 4 chairs and you need to imagine your team being right here in these 4 chairs. Every single week. Come in here, Alonzo, and say, look at these chairs before the meeting starts and picture 4 people on your team being in those chairs. And just sit there and think about it for just a few seconds. And then next week, you come back and you think about the same thing. Because guess what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to have 4 people in the seats. And then when you do, you go to the next section and you look. Man, just like it could even be next week. If all these 4 bring 1, I'll have 2 rows filled. And then if all of them bring 1, I'll have 4 rows filled. And if all of them bring 1, and 10 weeks from now, I could have a room as big as this room. Are you going to go talk to another person tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And it all stemmed from just imagining what you want your future to look like. Because here's the thing, you can either remember the past or you can imagine the future. And if you remember the past, you'll get yourself more of what the past has gotten you. More debt, more failure, more people saying no, more whatever. More job time. That makes sense? And also, you could even, if you're like, well, none of those things motivate me. Well, that's fine, okay, cool. Imagine what you don't want. Imagine yourself being 65 years old, stepping out of your job, living off of $1,000 to $1,200 a month, not being able to afford a lifestyle that you want, sitting on the front porch with your wife or whoever, rocking on a rocking chair, eating peanuts and farting all day. That doesn't motivate you. I don't know what else to tell you, I'm done, okay? So, these are some basic things, but these things I think you guys know are powerful things. They're really, really powerful. I told Zack, Zack and I were talking tonight, I was like, would you say that freedom is probably the thing that fires you up the most? He's like, absolutely. I said, you need to make about 1,000 signs and tape them all over your house and write it on your mirror and on your rear view mirror, write freedom, 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 everywhere, and just think about it all the time. People that are wealthy and people that create awesome lives for themselves imagine their life being that way. Because if you don't see yourself there, how can you ever create that life for yourself? You can't. Because you'll always just be remembering how your life has been, and that's the way it'll always be. So, is that good stuff, Lou? Is that all right?
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. I don't know. Lewis just told me to come up here and tell something that would help a new person. So, I don't know. Hopefully that helped new people and old people. All right, it helped me. And I didn't know I was going to talk about this. I was like, okay, I guess I'm just going to open my mouth and hope something good comes out. So, thank you, Lord, right? Okay, so anyway, we're done for the night. Actually, Lewis is going to be getting together with a few people here in probably 10-15 minutes. So if you want to hang around, cool. But if you don't, no big deal. Y'all can go ahead and take off. We're officially done for the night. So it was awesome to see you guys. Reggie, I'm fired up for you, man. All right, awesome.
Hey, hi, hi. Welcome. Welcome. Are you headed back to people extra things. Hey, that little training module, you guys can't start off. It'll be helpful. It's just not training. So that's our stuff. But no pressure.
Good to see you, man. Glad you made it out, dude. Dude, I like that shirt. Where'd you get it? Polo? Dillard's? Nice. I've been looking for like some white shirts I can wear on my jeans, but I really like that. That's awesome. Hey, what's your name? Ty? Yeah, that's right. We met before. Good to see you. How are you doing? Good, good. Awesome. Excited? Awesome. I hear some good things. Lewis was talking about you the other day. So he's got some plans and stuff and stuff. So. Good stuff. Fired up to have you guys come see me. I know you're fired up. That's awesome.
Alright, we're gonna get rolling. I didn't forget, I just forgot. Just be sure. Whoa, yes, hello. Keep it quick. Alright, what's up, y'all? Huge shout out to Zack. I really appreciate that, Zack. Really, really good. Super help. Super help. Tonight's still gonna be chill too, okay? Alright, everybody good? So, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try to help give some clarity to some people that are taking a lot of action. So maybe you feel like you're taking a lot of action, I'm gonna help give you some clarity tonight. I never had somebody be able to do this for me, it was kind of unfortunate. But since I've been through it, I can like help. How awesome is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so Lewis went through the same thing he's about to talk about tonight, so he's gonna be able to help me? Sweet. And we can go ahead and turn that off.
Yeah, we can.
Thanks.